Welcome back to another and fun and cool edition of Ames Tonight. As always, I am your sick co-host, Laurel.
And I'm Annie Harmon.
Look at that, Annie, I finally wrote a nickname for you. Are you excited about that? You know, it's good. But you know what? We're about to dive into one hot issue.
Pepsi Ad?
Don't you worry. We will be getting into that mess, but the first issue I want to discuss tonight is equal pay day. What is equal pay day, you might ask? It is a representation of how much more women have to work to match a man's pay. According to the National Committee on Pay Equity, it usually falls on a Tuesday.
That's right. This is an important issue to discuss, especially as young women entering the workforce soon. It is intimidating and scary to see how much less women make.
And women make about 80 cents to every dollar a man makes. And on Tuesday, a lot of graphics came out showing what the pay gap looks like going down the line. This graphic gives a very basic level of what the pay gap is. Of course, this is not for the same job. That doesn't need to be taken into account when you're looking at this graphic. This is just the average overall. This graphic comes courtesy of The Cut.
A retail campaign called #20%Counts was started, in which local businesses in 25 cities offered 20% discounts to women and men to represent how much less women get paid.
Celebrities started speaking out, encouraging citizens to look into what this means for everyone involved. A big name being Gina Rodriguez from the CW's Jane the Virgin.
In a recent interview with CNN, Rodriguez said that, "I don't think standing up for myself for equal pay is complaining or something that I should be afraid of."
Some could argue that Gina doesn't get to complain. She is a Golden Globe winning actress on a mega successful TV show and network. However, just because she is quote-unquote famous doesn't mean that the pay gap doesn't affect her too. Having Gina start the conversation and show that it is okay to stand up is empowering for women and men who feel that their voice isn't heard.
That's absolutely right, Feeks. Other celebrities that spoke out were Diane Guerrero from Orange is the New Black, Lauren Hargreaves from Fifth Harmony, sorry, not my favorite band as people know, Kate Walsh from 13 Reasons, Tracy Ellis Ross from Blackish, and more.
It's important to get this conversation started so that change can happen and women and men can find equal ground.
Now moving on to another issue.
You're really jazzed to talk about this Pepsi ad, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Jenner and Pepsi kind of messed it up. I mean, that's right, Kendall Jenner. She's managed to get in the spotlight again. What a shocker. The internationally known model has found herself in hot water for her new Pepsi commercial. The commercial shows Jenner breaking free from her photo shoot to join a protest going on in the streets.
In the video, Jenner whipped her blonde photo shoot hair off to show underneath her normal plain brown hair.
Then she joins the protest and walks up to an officer on the line and hands him a Pepsi.
Poor little Kenny. Though most people can see that you have nothing to do with the creative process, I'm looking at you, Chris.
The ad mistakenly gives off a comparison to protest movements like Black Lives Matter. When Jenner hands the soda to the officer, the crowd erupts in cheering. This has sparked outrage that Pepsi is making light of the controversial events like the death of Freddie Gray in 2015.
Recently, Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King, tweeted a photo about the ad of her father and a police officer with the caption, "If only Daddy would have known about the power of #Pepsi."
Pepsi has since removed the advertisement and issued an apology, stating that they only meant for the ad to bring about unity and peace, and it was a total misunderstanding.
Interesting story there, Annie. A lot of different angles to account for sure.
You got it. Well, I hate to have to bring this wonderful night to a close, but here we go. We're going to continue on to the news and watch tonight.
And, stay sexy and don't get murdered, Ames.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm your boy Malik Newsom.
And I'm Cole McAfee. What's up? Let's get this thing started. People at the club rejoice. You no longer have to go to the gym to post on Instagram how fit you are. Iggy Azalea, the famous rapper who cannot rap, claims she lost weight by twerking. If you are unfamiliar with twerking, look it up, because I'm not going to. The female superstar discussed that her new music video, Mo Bounce, had so much twerking in it that she lost a combined 15 pounds. Twerking is now being considered an exercise comparable to yoga. So next time you're at the gym trying to do a downward dog drinking your quinoa tea, you might just see another fit group going down to a sick beat, or whatever beat Iggy Azalea makes.
While we are way past the first 100 days of Donald Trump's term, that doesn't seem to stop the CIA from researching the legitimacy of his election. Allow me to set the mood. Last summer, the CIA told senior lawmakers in classified briefings that Russia was involved in Trump's victory. Now, normally I would make a joke about how the CIA is being that girlfriend or boyfriend who likes to bring up old stuff during a fight. I'm looking at you, Charlene. But there are some red flags and major evidence backing their concerns. Harry Reid, the then top Democrat of the Senate, wrote a letter to James B. Comey, director of the FBI, citing that he had mounting evidence of a direct connection between the Russian government and Trump's presidential campaign, and that it would be crucial to use every available resource to conduct an investigation. Since then, there have been numerous briefings, accusations of double standards, revisiting Hillary Clinton's Gmail accounts, and more coming up on this season of House of Cards.
Soap opera for men mania took place past Sunday. The WWE, holding what they call their Super Bowl, attracted their daily audience of 13-year-olds who've not figured out it's fake, and men who have not figured out what the UFC is. WrestleMania 33 featured a number of matches featuring a number of hardcore entertainment, like Roman Reigns, the new Undertaker, trying to pick up the current Undertaker, only to botch it and acting like it never happened. Should have gone to rehearsals before trying to pick up a 7-foot, 300-pound man. John Cena proposed to his longtime girlfriend, Nikki Bella, during WrestleMania, truly making it become a soap opera for men. I feel bad for Mrs. Cena. She will never be able to see her husband because, according to him, you can't.
The comedy world lost a legend this week. In-soap comedy legend Don Rickles passed away at 90 years old this morning from kidney failure. The comedian, hailed as comedy's equal opportunity offender, is famous for his roles in Run Silent, Run Deep, Kelly's Heroes, guest appearances on the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, and voice roles like Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story series. His passing comes just 3 weeks after celebrating his 52nd anniversary with his wife Barbara, calling himself Pussycat, and will be his final tweet. I will do the same and go home after this and binge all of the Toy Stories, but now I'll be crying during Toy Story 3 for a different reason.
With the current state of our country being divided from left and right, major companies like the New York Times, Coca-Cola, and Anheuser-Busch have only one thing left to do: cash in on this pony. Major companies have taken a big part of unity as a part of their ad campaigns, because nothing says unity like having a Coke and a beer. While many of these companies are having major success, there is one dropping the ball and throwing it over the fence, which will probably become a wall. Pepsi pulling its very controversial ad with Kendall Jenner this Wednesday. Pepsi apologizing for borrowing imagery from many of today's recent protests involving police brutality. The company said in a statement, Pepsi was trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. Clearly, we missed the mark. To shorten that down, Pepsi just said, oops.
Television stars aren't the only celebrities who are getting involved with politics. We might have some rappers who are trying to get into public office as well. In an interview late last night with TMZ, the unofficial mayor of Toronto, aka Drake, commented on the fan-fronted campaign to get their unofficial mayor of Chicago, aka Chance the Rapper, to run for mayor of Chicago, saying that Chano would do well in the position. Chano promptly replied with, "Thanks. Now I'm all for hashtag Chano for mayor 2014, with what he's done for his recent advocating for Chicago public schools, his stance on child development, and a website full of his lyrics and Chicago election facts. Don't be surprised if you see me wearing a shirt and singing Juice with my lyrics being, he's got my vote, he's got my vote."
Whoa. It's opening week for Major League Baseball, and who else would we talk about other than Tim Tebow? After failing in the NFL, Tim Tebow has decided to take his followers to a sport more outdated than himself: baseball. Tebow, who last played competitive baseball only in high school, managed to sign with the New York Mets, who put him on their single-A team, the Columbia Fireflies, the most feared name in baseball. For those who would rather watch the man you can't see in Soap Opera for Men Mania, there are many leagues in baseball affiliated with each other. First, you have the Major League, where the Cubs play and win a World Series every other century. Then you have AAA, where the majority of people who did steroids and supplements go when they get caught in the majors. From there, it goes further down to AA and eventually single or Class A, where even your dad could probably get a spot. This is where Tim Tebow plays. Only time will tell if Tim Tebow ends up in the big leagues or eventually calls it quits and tries to find another sport to play. Hey, maybe hockey.
Are you between the ages of 19 and 36 and looking for a home post-graduation? Well, maybe you should move to China. That isn't shameless promotion for the nation either. In a recent HSBC study, it showed that 70% of Chinese millennials are homeowners, with a sizable 91% planning to buy a home in the next 5 years. Now, I can't even think what I'm going to be doing in the next 5 years. I'll probably be living in Andreas' basement, which no, I am not paying you rent money yet. The nations that are close to this benchmark are Mexico with 46%, France with 41%, and the USA with 35% of millennials owning property. So how is China so far ahead, with Forbes saying that 7 of their cities are the most expensive cities to live in for residential property? Well, that could be thanks to mom, dad, and a carefully placed divorce loophole for homeowners. How would you explain that to your significant other? Hey, we need to get a divorce because I forgot to pay the light bill. You down? Yeah, I'm going to avoid that headache with that one. This has been your Nightly News.
Stay tuned for Jim talking about rain.
Hello and welcome back to Ames Tonight. I'm Jim Heinrichs, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about something that has impacted the lives of almost every student on campus within this past week: rain. Rain is a form of precipitation that falls from the sky in the form of small drops of water. Water, being a liquid, tends to make the people whom it encounters a little bit wet, or should I say moist? No? I shouldn't say moist? All right. Damp? That's good? Okay. Or should I say damp? Anyway, while this rain thing may be an inconvenience, there is more to this force of nature than you may think. You see, water is in an endless cycle of rejection. Let's just say that there's some water in a glass. After a while, the cup starts insulting the water and making it feel bad. So the water uses its flight abilities to fly up into the sky where it thinks it'll be fine. Unfortunately, clouds are also very nasty to the water. They call the water stupid and take its lunch money and shove it into a locker, and they say, "You're a loser, Jim. Why don't you just go back to Loserville?" And then the water starts to cry. So anyway, when the water cries, it just kind of falls from the sky because its tears are just water. The cup won't accept it, the clouds won't accept it, so it decides that maybe the people will accept it. So the water, or rain, falls onto people just looking for love. But I think you know what happens. The people say, "Oh, great, it's raining." But they don't think it's great. They're using sarcasm. And guess what? Rain can pick up on the most subtle hint of sarcasm. And so eventually, the rain leaves. And the process repeats over and over again. Scientists, the people who study rain, call this the water cycle. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, "Shut up, Jim," but I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to tell you what you can do to help the rain feel more accepted. The simple solution is that you should not get mad at the rain. How would you feel if you went looking for acceptance and everyone just kept pushing you away? You probably wouldn't like it. I mean, I know I don't like it when it happens to me every single day. So just think about what you say before you say it. Hurting the feelings of anyone, big or small, is not cool. I'm not saying that you have to let the rain drench you. You can still carry around an umbrella when it rains. Rain knows a thing or two about personal space, and most of the time, it will respect that. You just have to let it know. To sum things up, rain is not trying to annoy you. It's not trying to hurt you. It's not trying to steal your wallet while you're not looking just to pull some sort of April Fool's prank, but then forgetting that it has your wallet so you can't go buy that new pair of shoes you wanted. Rain just wants to be your friend. So just do the little things. Try taking some time to look up into the raining sky and say, "Hey, rain, I know you've been through a lot, so I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you and that I hope you're having a fantastic day." People will probably give you strange looks. They do that to me, but that's okay, because you're making a difference. Well, that's about all I got. I'm Jim Heinrichs saying, raindrop.
Drop top!
Stay tuned for more Ames Tonight.
Welcome back to Ames Tonight. As you know, I am your trap king, or Pimplucious, Megan Moran. And before I get into my main topic here tonight, there's a little something I have to talk about first. For those of you who don't know, and aren't cool enough and don't know that Pimplucious is from Trapped in the Closet, well, there you go. Now you know. And you're welcome. And speaking of Trapped in the Closet, the man, the myth, the legend, R. Kelly announced that at the end of 2016, he had more chapters of Trapped in the Closet to release, and last night he definitely confirmed that, and I'm sure 99% of people thought he was joking. In fact, I did too, but he said he's releasing 35 more chapters sometime in 2017, and I really hope it's sooner rather than later. Okay, now that breaking news, I'm here with another big topic to talk about tonight, Rick and Morty. Oh my lord. So for those of you who aren't sure what Rick and Morty is, I highly suggest you watch it, like, right now, because it's a show on Adult Swim created by Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon about a little guy named Rick Sanchez who returns to his daughter's life after being gone for 20 years. Rick is basically a sociopath genius scientist and goes on crazy adventures with, you guessed it, his grandson Morty. Now the creators have been teasing season 3 release for some time now, and fans have not been quiet about it. Season 2 aired about a year and a half ago exactly, and fans were not patient with the season 3 release, myself included. Over the weekend, April 1st to be exact, I guess and by they, I'm not sure if that's Adult Swim or the Rick and Morty creators, but they thought it would be hilarious April Fool's prank to surprise release the first episode of season 3. That's right, hilarious prank. Fans got what they wanted. Ha 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 ha, got 'em. The first episode was streaming on a loop on a live stream on Adult Swim until midnight. Unfortunately for me, I was going to go see Dan Harmon, one of the co-creators of the show, do his live podcast in Chicago, to which they totally teased that they were going to stream it for the audience, but they didn't. But oh man, was that first episode well worth the wait. It became so popular that someone created a change.org petition, excuse me, to bring back Szechuan sauce that they briefly had in 1998 to promote the release of Mulan. The petition now has 30,316 signatures, and you bet on one of them. People are even selling Szechuan sauce on eBay for almost $100,000. And not only is that a 100% scam, do you really want to eat sauce from almost 20 years ago? I don't. But really, McDonald's, bring back the sauce. Even if it takes 9 seasons, 97 years, bring it back. Bring it back. If I have now intrigued you to watch Rick and Morty, you're in luck. They're streaming it right now, all seasons. Oh, how convenient. Oh my gosh. Sign the petition, bring the sauce back, call it a day. And you know what? On that note, good night, Ames, and a wubba lubba dub dub.